Four high school students in a small town want to build rockets. The first trial failed, but they were not discouraged. Then came the second, third, and failed attempts. Until one day, a black uncle in the town was attracted by their rockets and came to watch in person. However, he never expected that after the rocket shot up into the sky, it suddenly changed direction and hit the uncle. This rocket is better called a missile than a rocket. Jack immediately ran up to apologize, but the uncle was extremely excited, saying that the moment he dodged the rocket just now reminded him of the feeling of air combat in World War II. As a retired pilot, the black man saw the problem with the rocket at a glance. The heat from the rocket exhaust melted the propeller gasket, causing the rocket to lose balance. It is not difficult to solve this problem. It only needs to be replaced with more heat-resistant special steel pipes. However, this kind of special steel is very expensive. In order to make up for the money, these poor boys decided to take risks and steal abandoned railway tracks. After a lot of effort, they finally removed a section, but then they heard the sound of the train whistle. Seeing that it was too late to put the rails back on, they could only rush up and signal the train driver to stop. Fortunately, the train changed direction at the fork in the road, and it turned out that this section of track had long been abandoned. They finally scraped together enough money to buy a section of special steel. This time, the rocket can finally fly smoothly. However, a new problem came again. The rockets always exploded inexplicably. Some exploded in mid-air, and some exploded before they even took off. After careful observation and analysis, they found that it may be caused by the presence of bubbles inside the propellant. When ignited, the bubbles turn into small combustion chambers, causing an internal explosion. Jack had an idea and thought of alcohol, a 100% pure substance. They heated and mixed alcohol to create a new propellant. This time, the rocket launch was very lively and was surrounded by residents of the town. Teacher Riley also came specially to cheer them on. It turned out that Jack's brother leaked the news to the outside world. He deliberately called others to watch Jack's jokes. The Rocket Boys were under great pressure. It would be too embarrassing if they failed this time. Teacher Riley encouraged them not to care about other people's opinions and just be brave enough to be themselves. Fortunately, this time, their rockets were very competitive. The rocket soared up the moment it was ignited, soaring into the sky amid gorgeous sparks and smoke. Those who once scoffed now become cheerers. Although the fuel was only enough for the rocket to fly a few kilometers, their success was undeniable. On Jack's birthday, he unexpectedly received a signed photo from von Braun, and he was ecstatic. Teacher Riley also gave him a book on rocket design principles. Although the book involves complex calculus and differential equations, Jack excitedly said that he would study it carefully. After repeated improvements, the rocket's battery life is getting stronger and stronger. Newspapers even called them rocket boys, and they were the hope of future spaceflight. However, the newspaper brought disaster to them. The police could not find the cause of the wildfire, so they pinned the charge on their rockets. Even though Teacher Riley defended them, no wreckage could be found from the rocket that was launched. They are unwilling but unable to argue. After his father bailed Jack out, he, who had never been angry with Jack, felt ashamed of his son this time. Other partners were also criticized and educated by their parents. In this coal mining town, everyone is looking underground, and no one can understand their yearning for the sky. Jack and his friends burned down the crude control room themselves, and their dreams seemed to be shattered. That night, the mine collapsed, and Jack's father was seriously injured while trying to save more than a dozen workers underground. Although his life is out of danger, the family's house and car were provided by the coal mining company. If his father cannot return to work, these will all be taken back. In order to support the family, Jack's brother decided to give up college and take over his father's job. Jack feels that he is the biggest failure in his family, and now is the time to stand up. So that day, he went to the principal to sign a withdrawal agreement, preparing to take responsibility for his family. Although he gave up his dream, Jack knew that people can never give up on life. Working in the mine for the first time, Jack raised his head and looked at the vast, starry sky. Although he was unwilling to do so, he was unable to change the current situation.